Okay, mark this day on your calendar. January 14th, 2026. This is the day the global map of intelligence got a complete rewrite. We've just seen a series of massive announcements, and believe me, the rules of the AI game have officially changed. Let's break down what just happened, and we're going to start with a huge shakeup in the US-China tech war.
So first up, this massive shift in the US-China tech relationship. And look, this isn't just another tweak to trade policy. No, this is the beginning of a completely new era in what we're calling the geopolitics of silicon.
Here's the headline that's got everyone talking. The Trump administration has given the green light for Nvidia to start exporting its powerful H200 AI chips to China again. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. For every single chip sold, Nvidia has to pay a 25% revenue sharing fee directly to the US government. A move like this, it's totally unprecedented.
Now, how's the White House framing this? Officially, they're calling it a thoughtful balance. And you can kind of see the strategy, right? On one hand, it reopens a gigantic market for Nvidia. On the other, it turns national security policy into a direct revenue stream for the US government.
So the really crucial thing to understand here is that we've moved way beyond a simple ban or no ban situation. This is something much, much more sophisticated. You could call it dynamic management. The goal isn't just to block technology anymore. It's to control it, to manage it, and to profit directly from it. They've essentially created what you could call geopolitical tariffs.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Yeah, the H200 is powerful, but let's be real. It's still last-gen tech compared to what the US is using. And yet, the demand from China is just off the charts. We're talking orders in the millions. This just hammers home how critically dependent they still are on Nvidia's CUDA software. You know, that's the secret sauce, the programming language that makes all these AI chips actually work. And they're willing to buy older hardware at a premium just to stay in that ecosystem.
But don't for a second think China is just sitting back and taking this. Let's pivot to their countermove. Because years of these US sanctions have actually forged a tougher, more self-reliant tech industry over there. It's led to something we can only describe as adversarial innovation.
And here's the proof. Just today, the major Chinese AI firm Zhipu announced it has successfully trained a cutting-edge image model using only homegrown Huawei Ascend hardware. This is a massive deal, both symbolically and technically. It proves that while sure, they might still want Western chips, they no longer need them for frontier AI development. This effectively de-risks their entire AI sector from whatever the US decides to do next.
So you've got this geopolitical chess match happening at lightning speed. But it's all about to run headfirst into a very hard wall, the real world. As AI ambition just skyrockets, a critical question is popping up. Can our actual physical infrastructure, data centers, power grids, cooling systems, can it even keep up?
The numbers here are pretty shocking. A new survey of global CEOs from NTT and the Wall Street Journal reveals this massive gap between ambition and reality. Get this. 68% of them are planning to pour even more money into AI, but a staggering 82% admit their current infrastructure just isn't ready for it. Only 18%, a tiny fraction, feel like they're prepared for what's coming.
And this brings us to this huge, glaring paradox. Most CEOs, about 70%, admit they prioritize raw performance above everything else. And at the same time, 75% of them believe that being sustainable or going green will just hurt their bottom line. This performance-first mindset is creating a massive energy and environmental problem right as the AI boom is really taking off.
The amount of money at risk here is just mind-boggling. In response, the insurance giant Aon just expanded its data center lifecycle insurance program to a whopping $2.5 billion. And this isn't just to cover, a fire. This is to ensure against the catastrophic domino effect of one cooling unit failing or one shipment of GPUs getting lost. The stakes are enormous.
But all this tension between ambition and reality, it's not actually slowing things down. In fact, it's pushing AI into its next major phase. The whole conversation is shifting. We're not just talking about AI as a tool you can chat with anymore. We are now entering what's being called the agentic transition, where AI is literally becoming an autonomous worker.
So, what in the world is Agentic AI? Well, think of it this way. It's a system that doesn't just talk to you or spit out text. It reasons, it plans, and it actually takes action. It can handle complex, multi-step jobs across all your different apps and systems, and you don't have to hold its hand through every single step. And this is kicking off a fundamental shift in how we even think about cloud computing. Just today, Alphabet announced the full rollout of Nvidia's brand new Blackwell chips on Google Cloud. But they're not just selling you raw computing power, they're pioneering a whole new model. We're moving from AI as a service to autonomous operations as a service. The cloud isn't just going to host your tools anymore. It's going to manage the execution of your business for you.
This agentic transition is causing a massive corporate realignment, like the tectonic plates are shifting. You've got Alphabet and Nvidia going all in on Agentic AI. You've got TCS and AMD teaming up to bring these powers to the wider business world. And then, the bombshell. Apple has officially picked Google's Gemini to be the brain inside its new Apple Intelligence. That means OpenAI just got sidelined from over 2 billion devices. Wow. Okay, so with all of this technology changing so incredibly fast, there's a desperate scramble to write the rule book. How do we govern this new future? Who's protected and who gets left behind?
This is the central question facing, well, everyone right now. Lawmakers, regulators, all of us. As these incredibly powerful systems get woven deeper and deeper into our lives, the fight over who gets to set the boundaries is really heating up. Since there's not much happening at the federal level, what we're seeing is this patchwork of state laws popping up. And California, just because its market is so huge, is basically becoming the de facto global regulator. They're passing laws that demand safety frameworks for the biggest models and require disclosures for things like companion chatbots.
But this patchwork approach is already creating major conflicts. A new federal AI task force has just been set up inside the Department of Justice. And get this, its main job is to challenge state laws that clash with national policy. We are literally watching the beginning of a constitutional crisis for AI, pitting states' rights against federal authority.
And the battleground is becoming crystal clear. Today, OpenAI and the nonprofit Common Sense Media filed a joint ballot initiative in California specifically to protect kids. It's designed to stop chatbots from promoting social isolation or trying to form romantic relationships with minors. This is a direct response to a really terrifying trend where teenagers are starting to prefer talking to bots over actual people.
And the economic impact of all this, it's just as profound. Brand new data from the IMF shows that if you have AI skills, you are earning a lot more money. In the US and the UK, having 4 or more distinct AI skills can boost your pay by up to 15%. This is creating what some are calling a new cognitive elite, where your ability to work with AI is the main thing that determines your income. It's squeezing everyone else in the middle and completely reshaping the job market as we know it.
And all of that brings us to our final slide, and it's a pretty sobering outlook from the World Economic Forum. Their new report says that top global risks for 2026 are number 1, misinformation and disinformation, and number 2, societal polarization. Number 3 is extreme weather events. And what's the thread that connects them all? AI is acting as a risk multiplier, supercharging the spread of fake news and putting even more strain on our already fragile infrastructure. So the big question is, as we race to build this incredible new world of intelligence, are we paying nearly enough attention to the foundations it's all being built on?